Welcome to the ArmaniTalks podcast. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever, skyrocket your confidence along the way. In today's episode, we're sort of entering the world of public speaking along with just the lifestyle world in general. When I was public speaking, I started off in Toastmasters, and as a couple of years went on by, I decided that I wanted to expand outside of Toastmasters. So every now and then, in the Tampa Bay area, there are different events that are being hosted, and every now and then, your boy decides to MC one of the events. The difference between an MC and a speaker is that a speaker has an in-depth talk for the event, while an MC is more so the glue guy. Despite us having different roles within the meeting, prior to the meeting, we're all in the same room. And as we are in the same room, we are introduced to a bunch of food. You see, the event coordinator for this event got a lot of food for the speakers and the MC. And what I noticed was that a lot of the speakers during this moment would stuff their face with sandwiches, wraps, cookies, soda, and much more. But for me, I couldn't do that. Right before a 2-hour event, the last thing I wanted to do was eat. If I ate, then I was going to feel sleepy. I decided that I was going to eat after the event. When I told the lady this, the one that organized the food, she looked at me like I had 3 heads. But for me, in my body, I knew I was doing the right thing. Once the event ended, I looked outside the window. It was nighttime, and I began to eat my first meal of the day. 9 p.m., I was eating that sandwich. Throughout public speaking, I realized that whenever I go to a speech hungry, for my body type, it works. It allows me to be in the present moment. I feel motivated. I feel as though I'm unleashing some sort of primal energy. I can't quite put it into words. It's more so an experience. And as I was doing this whole concept of going to a speech hungry, emceeing events hungry, I decided, why not just do this for the rest of my life? In other parts of my life, why am I snacking throughout the day? And by the way, I do want to reiterate that this is not life advice. This is simply something that I have noticed for my life. I decided that I wasn't going to eat breakfast a couple of years ago. I don't like breakfast. I feel as though whenever I eat a breakfast, a meal, whatever, it honestly kills my motivation from the very beginning of the day. I think eating breakfast for me is very similar to waking up in the morning and jerking off, or waking up in the morning and smoking a bowl. It kills the motivation. So screw breakfast. But after my public speaking experience, I decided to ask, why not also get rid of lunch as well? And ever since I got rid of lunch as well, and I only eat one meal at the end of the day, I've noticed 2 improvements in my life. The first improvement is the productivity aspect. Nowadays, when I work, I really work. And every now and then when I'm thinking about, I don't want to work right now, I don't want to be productive, suddenly a thought comes in my mind of, hey, Armani, you have a big meal waiting for you at the end of the day. So work, all right? This is very similar to holding a carrot in front of a horse. It just keeps me motivated. Okay, so that's one of the other benefits of eating only one time a day. But the other one is that when you're sleeping, a lot of the times you can't sleep. You're having other thoughts, or some folks, when they're trying to sleep, they have to count a sheep, all that nonsense. Whenever I eat at the end of the day, it's late at night, I'm over here yawning away. And when I'm yawning away, I want to go to sleep. I don't force myself to go to sleep. I just knock out. So what started off as a public speaking strategy of going hungry to a speech suddenly started to shift to the rest of my life. Nowadays, I only eat once a day, not only for public speaking, but for productivity and for sleep reasons as well. Let me reiterate, this is not life advice. I think 9 out of 10 folks, as they're listening to this episode, are going to think, this guy has gone mad. And I believe if you are evaluating me from the lens of the past 200 to 300 years, you are accurate. Eating once a day is nonsense. But I believe if you are evaluating me from the lens of history, what I'm saying makes a lot of sense. I believe that our ancient ancestors were not eating 3 to 5 times a day. I think they had to hunt. They had to get their meal. And then they ate. Not saying that we have to hunt nowadays, but my version of hunting is dominating that speech, is dominating that day, is being productive. So at the end of the day, I know that I earned my meal. I earned my rest. 9 out of the 10 people are going to listen to this episode and think that I'm crazy. But for one person, they're going to be like, this guy may be talking some sense right now. So that is my experience with OMAD, aka 1 meal a day. And thus far, it's been working like a charm. Thank you very much for joining the ArmaniTalks podcast, and I'll catch you next time.